Jesus gets away, he returns with the people. And what's interesting, when they return back after this beautiful moment of being just with Jesus and kind of on their own, they come back and immediately they are overwhelmed. Immediately after this time of like reflection and solitude, the disciples are faced with thousands of people who are hungry. And the disciples, they're overwhelmed. They aren't sure like what to do when faced with so much hunger. And their response to Jesus is to send the people away. They see the need and they immediately believe that they're not the ones who address that need. The disciples, they want to refer those in need that are right in front of them to some other place, to some other people, in hopes that that other place and those other people will meet that need. Anybody picking up what I'm putting down right here? Right? Somebody shows up in need in your place, and you want to put them on a bus and send them to another place because you don't want to meet that need. And Jesus is like, he doesn't even acknowledge what they've said to them. He simply responds, you feed them. I don't think it's that Jesus is unsympathetic to this challenge that's in front of them. And he certainly wasn't unsympathetic to the people. Mark notes in verse 4 that Jesus had compassion on them when he sees them. 34. Jesus is keenly aware of the depth and the reach of the needs of the people. Yet he instructs the disciples to feed them, to minister to them, to meet their needs. And church, listen, it can be incredibly overwhelming when we begin to stare down the needs that are right in front of us. When we begin to stare down racial injustice and education inequity and inequality and mass incarceration and gun violence. And this is to say nothing of the needs that just show up in your own personal lives of family members that fall ill, or careers that become upended on a whim, or financial challenges, or neighbors that we meet with no sense of God's invitation in their life. And seeing those needs can overwhelm us, just as it overwhelmed the disciples. And still, I think what Jesus would say to us in those moments is feed the people. Meet the needs in whatever ways that you can. Yesterday, we fed popsicles. Praise God. Today, the bread and the wine, juice. Next month, first Tuesday of the month, we're going to feed children pizza and homework help at the minor PTO. Could use some help with that. A few days later, on October 10th, during the Teen City Retreat, we're going to feed teenagers community and godly mentoring and time to process what it means to be a young person in Washington, D.C. and follow Jesus in that place. A few days after that, on October 15th, we're going to partner with the Washington Interfaith Network for a strategic bus tour of the city to see the progress that's being made or not being made in the development of affordable housing and learn ways that we as people of faith can continue to advocate for quality, affordable housing to be built in this city and in this very neighborhood. We have new parents in this room. We have families that have family members who have been in the hospital for over a month in this room, and both of those populations of folks within our body, they need feeding. They could use meals from their church family. Needs being met in small group on a daily basis. And your neighbors in your neighborhoods. Folks where there's needs. And I think what Jesus may invite you to do is to feed them.